In the bustling suburbs of a mid-sized American city called Elmwood, where manicured lawns met cracked sidewalks, lived a boy named Alex Harper. Alex was 10 years old when he first understood the weight of social hierarchies. His father, Robert Harper, was a janitor at the local high school, the very school Alex would one day attend. Robert was a quiet man, broad-shouldered from years of manual labor, with calloused hands that spoke of endless nights scrubbing floors and fixing leaky faucets. He wore a faded blue uniform every day, embroidered with the school's logo, and carried a mop like a reluctant scepter. Alex's mother, Elena, had passed away when he was just 5, leaving Robert to raise him alone. Elena had been a teacher, vibrant and intellectual, and her absence left a void that Robert filled with hard work and silent devotion. But to Alex, his father's job was a source of embarrassment. It started innocently enough. One afternoon, during recess at elementary school, Alex overheard his classmates boasting about their parents' professions. Tommy's dad was a lawyer, driving a shiny BMW. Sarah's mom was a doctor, saving lives in the ER. When it was Alex's turn, he froze. My dad, he's in maintenance, he mumbled, but the snickers that followed burned into his memory. From that day on, Alex began weaving a web of lies. My father's a businessman, he'd say, imagining Robert in a suit instead of overalls. He travels a lot for work. It was easier that way. No one questioned it, and Alex could blend in with the crowd. At home, things were different. Robert would come back exhausted, smelling of bleach and polish, and Alex would retreat to his room, pretending to study while avoiding eye contact. Dinner was silent affairs, with Robert asking about school and Alex giving monosyllabic answers. Deep down, Alex loved his father, but the shame was a barrier he couldn't cross. As years passed, the pretense grew. By middle school, Alex had perfected his story. His friends believed Robert was a successful entrepreneur who owned a cleaning company, technically not a lie, but twisted enough to sound impressive. Alex joined the soccer team, the debate club, anything to stay busy and away from home. He avoided inviting friends over, claiming the house was under renovation. Robert, sensing the distance, tried to bridge it. Son, want to come help me at the school sometime? I could use an extra hand, he'd say with a hopeful smile. Alex would shudder inwardly. No thanks, Dad, homework. One pivotal evening, when Alex was 13, changed everything. It was parent-teacher night. Robert insisted on going, dressed in his best shirt and tie, which still looked worn compared to the other parents' attire. Alex begged him not to, but Robert wouldn't budge. Education's important, Alex. I want to hear how you're doing. At the school, Alex slunk in the shadows as classmates pointed and whispered. Is that the janitor? Wait, is he Alex's dad? The humiliation was overwhelming. That night, Alex exploded. Why do you have to embarrass me like that? Can't you just stay home? Robert's face fell, but he said nothing, just nodded and went to bed. From then on, Alex pretended his father didn't exist. Not literally, of course, he still lived under the same roof, but in his mind, Robert was a ghost. He stopped mentioning him altogether. When asked about family, he'd say, it's just me and my mom, but she's passed. It was a half-truth that erased Robert completely. The guilt gnawed at him, but the relief of fitting in outweighed it. Little did Alex know, this pretense would shape the next decade of his life, leading to a cascade of regrets and revelations. Robert, meanwhile, continued his routine. He woke at dawn, prepared breakfast for Alex, oatmeal, with a side of fruit, and left for work. At the school, he cleaned classrooms where dreams were nurtured, overhearing teachers praise students like his son. Pride swelled in his chest, but he kept it hidden. Robert had his own secrets. Born in a small rural town, he had dreamed of being an engineer, but life derailed him. A factory accident left him with a limp, and without a college degree, janitorial work was his lifeline. He saved every penny for Alex's future, hoping one day his son would see beyond the uniform. As Alex entered high school, the divide widened. He excelled academically, earning scholarships and accolades. Friends admired his independence, unaware of the man who made it possible. Robert attended games and ceremonies from afar, blending into the crowd like the invisible custodian he was. Alex spotted him once, mopping the gym floor after a match, and quickly looked away, heart pounding with shame. The seeds of shame had taken root, growing into a tangled vine that choked their relationship. But vines can be cut, and sometimes, life provides the shears. High school was Alex's kingdom. At 16, he was captain of the debate team, dating the cheerleader captain, Lisa, and on track for valedictorian. His fabricated life was airtight. My dad's overseas on business, he'd tell Lisa when she asked to meet his family. She bought it, charmed by Alex's charisma. But cracks began to appear. One rainy afternoon, Alex was at the library studying when his phone buzzed. It was the school office. Your father had an accident at work. He's at the hospital. Panic surged through Alex. He rushed to Elmwood General, heart racing. Robert had slipped on a wet floor, ironic for a janitor, and broken his arm. In the Robert looked small in the hospital bed, his uniform discarded for a gown. Alex, you didn't have to come, Robert said weakly, but his eyes lit up. Of course I did, Alex replied, guilt twisting his gut. For the first time in years, he saw his father not as an embarrassment, but as a vulnerable human. The doctor explained the injury would sideline Robert for weeks. You'll need help at home, she said. Alex nodded, but inwardly dreaded it. With Robert homebound, the pretense became harder. Friends called, offering to visit. No, it's fine. Dad's recovering abroad, Alex lied, but the strain showed. Lisa noticed his distraction. What's really going on, Alex? You seem off. Nothing, he snapped, regretting it immediately. During those weeks, Alex cared for his father, cooking meals, helping with chores. It was awkward at first. Robert tried small talk. Remember when your mom and I took you to the zoo? You loved the monkeys. Alex smiled faintly, memories flooding back. Alina's laughter, Robert's strong arms lifting him. But shame lingered. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. As Robert healed, Alex returned to school, but something shifted. He overheard classmates mocking the janitorial staff. Those losers probably dropped out. Anger flared in Alex, defensive for the first time. But he said nothing, the habit of silence too ingrained. Graduation approached. Alex was valedictorian, his speech prepared on perseverance. Robert beamed with pride, insisting on attending. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Alex cringed, imagining the whispers. On the day, as he scanned the crowd from the stage, he spotted Robert in the back row, dressed neatly. For a moment, their eyes met, and Alex felt a pang, not of shame, but of sorrow. In his speech, Alex spoke of unsung heroes. We often overlook those who support us silently. The words were generic, but in his heart, they were for Robert. After the ceremony, Lisa pulled him aside. I saw your dad. Why didn't you tell me he's the school janitor? That's nothing to be ashamed of. Alex's world tilted. How did you know? I asked around. Alex, he's a good man. Everyone says so. The facade cracked. That night, Alex confronted his lies. Dad, I'm sorry for pretending you don't exist. Robert hugged him, tears in his eyes. I always knew, son. But I love you anyway. Healing began, but old habits die hard. As Alex prepared for college, the pretense lingered in subtle ways. College was Alex's escape. At Stanford, thousands of miles from Elmwood, he reinvented himself. Majoring in business, he thrived in the competitive environment. No one knew his past. He was just Alex Harper, ambitious and driven. Calls home were brief. How's work, Dad? Fine, son. Miss you. Robert's letters arrived monthly, filled with mundane updates. The school got new floors, the neighbor's dog had puppies. Alex skimmed them, guilt pricking him. He dated casually, joined fraternities, built a network. But in quiet moments, he wondered about his father. Junior year, Alex interned at a tech startup. His boss, Mr. Klein, was a self-made millionaire who started as a mechanic. Never be ashamed of humble beginnings, Klein advised. The words echoed, stirring unease. That summer, Alex visited home. Robert had aged. Gray hairs, deeper lines. They fished at the lake, a rare outing. Proud of you, Alex, Robert said. Your mom would be too. Mention of Elena softened Alex. Tell me about her. Robert shared stories. How they met in college, her passion for literature. She saw potential in everyone, including me. Alex realized Robert had sacrificed dreams for family. Back at college, Alex researched his father's past. Digging through old photos, he found Robert's high school diploma, valedictorian, like him. A newspaper clipping. Local boy wins engineering scholarship. But the accident changed everything. Empathy bloomed. Alex called more, shared his life. Senior year, a crisis hit. Robert's health declined, heart issues from stress. Alex flew home. I should have been here, he said. Robert waved it off. You're building your future. Surgery was successful, but it awakened Alex. Graduation came. Robert attended, frail but present. Alex introduced him to friends. This is my dad, the man who made me who I am. The pretense faded, replaced by gratitude. Post-college, Alex landed a job at a Fortune 500 company in New York. Corporate life was glamorous, suits, meetings, travel. But success felt hollow. He visited Elmwood sporadically. Robert retired, living quietly. At 25, Alex got engaged to Emily, a colleague. Planning the wedding, he insisted Robert be best man. You're my hero, Dad. Robert accepted, humbled, but old shame resurfaced. Emily's family was affluent. Her post-college, Alex landed a job at a Fortune 500 company in New York.